Welcome to You Ask, We Answer, where our team breaks down your real questions about indoor air quality in a way that's clear, practical, and honest. Let's get started. All right, you guys, welcome back. We're going to answer another one of your guys' questions. And this question is talking about room air purifiers versus whole home air purifiers. What's the difference? Is one better over the other? So we've got Dan here. He is a certified air filter specialist.
That is correct.
With Novus Air, but he's going to teach us just about this subject.
Right.
So what do we need to know about the differences?
Well, and which is better?
And which is better?
Right. Well, the answer is that depends. Okay.
Like a lot of our questions,
Yep,
right? A lot of the answers are it depends.
Yep.
So.
All right. So let's just start off with what they have in common.
Okay.
Okay. So they both do relatively the same job, which is remove particles out of the air. Okay. They're both sized the same way. So let's talk about that in a little more detail. Okay. So the whole industry agrees on this subject, which is very rare for an industry to all agree with the same subject, right? And that is how many times the air in the room should be cleaned in order to reach a level of acceptable cleanliness. Okay, so that's what we call air changes per hour. So how often all of the air in the room has been filtered and put back in. Okay, and everybody agrees that it's at least 5 times an hour. So whether it's a room air purifier or whether it's a whole home air purifier, the target is the same. Let's clean the air 5 times every hour.
Okay.
Or more. More is fine. Less is not.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So then the next thing is they also can come with optional extras. So whether it's a room air purifier or a whole home system, you can get add-on accessories. Okay. So you could have like an ionizer or a UV light, or you could also add some kind of odor control to it.
Okay.
And so they both have that in common. Okay. Then they're both affected by your house breathing. We've talked about that in another episode, but let's just talk about it here. Okay.
Yeah, let's review it.
Every home kind of breathes. What I mean by that is air leaves the home and air comes in to replace it. And so it's just like the home is breathing. Well, naturally, if the home is breathing, no matter which filtration system you have, that means you're cleaning the air, but while you're cleaning the air, dirty air is coming in from the outside.
Yep.
Okay. So they have that in common.
Okay, great. Is that everything that they have in common?
That's pretty much what they have in common. Yep.
So what do they have that's different then?
So what's different about them is the amount of area that they cover. So we'll call it their coverage. Okay. A room air purifier, as you can guess, does a room. A whole house air purifier does the whole house.
A whole house.
So they differ quite a bit. Okay. The other thing, which is a huge difference, is like if we're going to have an air purifier for this room, okay, then we need to have it so that this room is essentially what I call sealed. I mean, we're not going to go around and seal it with tape and things, okay? But we don't want to have an air path to it.
So like an open door, open window.
Doors, open windows. You don't want it to be connected to a home ventilation system. Or, we'll look up there. I see there's a return air grill for your central air system. A room air purifier needs to be in a room where the air is just circulated around and around and around inside that room through that purifier.
Okay.
And we'll talk about kind of where that gets messed up. Okay?
Yeah, I can see where that would get a little messy because I didn't realize that.
Right. So, well, let's just talk about the opposite. With a whole home system, you're going to have air coming in through the vent passing through the room and pushing that air out of the room. So you're bringing in a bunch of clean air and forcing the dirty air out of that room. So they're total opposites there. One is a recirculation system, one is a flow-through system.
Okay.
Okay? So you can see if you had a room air purifier trying to clean this room that was still connected to a forced air system, it would just be forcing that air that you just cleaned right out of this room. Okay?
So really, somebody shouldn't have just a room-only purifying system if they're connected to central air.
Correct.
Okay.
It loses. The central air system wins.
Okay.
Okay? And if the central air system doesn't have a whole home purifier on it, you're really defeating the whole purpose of having an air cleaning system there.
All right. This is good information. I really had no idea about any of this. So this is good.
Right. Another difference is the number of units you need. So whole home obviously does every room in the house. You only need one of those units. Okay? If you're going to have a room air purifier, if every room that you need has to have its own room air purifier. So you count up how many rooms that you want to have clean air, that's how many air purifiers you need.
Okay.
Okay? So that's a huge difference there, right? 1 versus what? 5, 6, 10? I don't know how many rooms.
However many is in a home or the space that you're in.
Right. Okay. Then filter lifespan. That's different. Your average room purifier has a fairly small HEPA filter in it, and it only lasts for about 3 months.
Okay.
And so that has to be changed about once every 3 months. And if you had 10 room air purifiers, that means you're going to have to buy 10 filters for it.
Yeah.
Okay? Where a whole home air filtration system typically uses what's called an extended surface media filter, which is designed to last a long time. The smallest ones last for 6 months. The ones with the most surface area, like the Novus Air, it lasts for 3 years. So quite a bit of difference in how long the filters last.
And how long they last.
Room air purifiers are awesome. They can go in any home, any room. There's no restrictions whatsoever. Whole home air purification system? No, it has to be able to go onto a system that it's compatible with. So, first off, it has to have a forced air system. It can't be a radiant, heated or cooled home, okay? So it has to have a forced air system, and that forced air system has to be able to have room to put a whole home air purifier on it. Typically fits in most homes, but there are some homes where it won't work. Just flat out won't work.
Yeah, especially if the home wasn't originally built with a forced air system.
Yep. That pretty much covers the differences.
Okay, so I think with talking about the similarities and the differences, we did cover some pros and cons in there, but
there's pros and
really
cons.
let's bring those out and talk about what are the pros and cons.
Okay, so let's say it this way. When would you want a portable room air purifier?
Right.
Okay.
What are the scenarios where somebody would want that?
One's really easy. If a whole home air purifier can't fit on your system, then obviously you're stuck with. I shouldn't say stuck with, because there's room air purifiers are good. They do a good job. So if you can't put in a whole home air purifier, then you have room air purifiers available to you. The other scenario is you've got radiant heating or cooling, and there's no duct system. So a room air purifier is perfect there. There's another scenario. Let's say I'm a renter, and the landlord doesn't want to spend thousands of dollars on a whole home air purifier for me.
Yes.
Then that's my only option, is to go with a room air purifier. And it could also be that you're planning on moving soon anyway. So why spend the money on the home that you're in to improve the air purification system that you're just going to leave for the next person? So that's another good instance when you would use a room air purifier.
Okay, so when would you choose a whole home air purification system?
Well, obviously, if you want every room in your house to have air purified air, that's a good time to use a whole home air purification system, provided it can be installed on your system. A side benefit of a whole home air purification system, besides cleaning the air in your home, it also keeps the dirt out of your HVAC system.
Makes that last longer as well.
Makes that last longer, keeps that clean, maintains the efficiency, keeps the efficiency high in your heating and air conditioning system.
Well, and it does sound to me like there's some cost differences as well. So do we want to break down kind of cost comparison between the two? With the room air purification systems, you talked about how you probably have to replace those filters quite often and for every single system that you have versus a whole home air purification. You don't have to replace as often or as many, right? So we're going to see a price benefit towards a whole home air filtration system.
That obviously varies depending upon how many room air purifiers you have, okay? So it could actually be more cost effective to have a room air purifier, but typically because of you'd have to have so many room air purifiers and the filters have to be changed so often compared to a whole home, even though installing a whole home air cleaning system, air purification system, may cost 2, 3, 4 times as much. Over 10 years, the whole home air purification system actually costs less than the room air purification system. One more advantage to the whole home air purification system is that, remember how we talked about the home breathes?
Yes.
So it's constantly bringing that dirty air in to mix with the clean air that you've just cleaned, okay? With a room air purification system, you can't do anything about that. But with a whole home purification system, we can. So instead of letting all the air leak in through all the little gaps and cracks in your home, what we do is we control that by bringing in the air through a duct into your filtration system so that any air that's coming into your home is actually filtered. So that essentially totally negates that dirty air coming in.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you have somebody who's got real upper respiratory issues and for health reasons, they're trying to make sure that they have as pure air as they can get, the whole home air filtration system can take care of that.
That's really awesome. Okay, great. Is there anything else?
Nope. So it pretty much boils down to if you just need to clean 1 or 2 rooms in your home, room air purifiers are going to do a great job. If you're going to move and you want to take it with you, room air purifiers are going to do a great job. If you want the whole house to be clean, then a whole house air purification system is the job for you.
Okay.
But like we discussed, if you can't have both.
Correct, yes.
You can't have a room air purifier and a room with central air connected to it. You've just wasted your money on a room air purifier.
All right, hopefully that answered your question on air purifiers and which one you should choose. If you want more information, go ahead and head over to essentialairproducts.com and navigate your way to You Ask, We Answer, where you'll find a lot of resources at your disposal.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions about today's presentation, or it has spurred some other questions on your mind, go ahead and put them in the comment box and we'll be happy to get back to you.
Thanks for watching You Ask, We Answer. For more tips and resources, visit us at essentialairproducts.com. Clean air starts here.